Alright, so today we would be delving into a scholarship scheme in Belgium. This is known as the Mastermind Scholarship, and there is the call for academic year 2024 to 2025. Okay, this is a fully funded scholarship scheme in Belgium. If you still have not subscribed to this channel, kindly hit on the subscription button and then the post notifications so that as and when I release a new video, you would be notified. And then also don't forget to give a thumbs up for this video and help us to grow as a community. Let's get straight into the video. So right now we are on the homepage of the Mastermind Scholarship. Don't worry, I would be inserting all the relevant links in the description so that navigation and application becomes very easy for you. So let's read some general information about this scholarship scheme. The Flemish Ministry of Education and Training awards scholarship for master's programs in Flanders and Brussels to outstanding students from around the world. A Mastermind scholarship includes a grant of 10,000 euros plus a tuition fee waiver per academic year. Okay, Mastermind scholarship holders only pay an administrative enrollment fee. You just pay an administrative enrollment fee, which is, I think, is not a lot of money. It's just for administrative purposes. Okay, and I'm sure you can even take that from your scholarship that you are granted. Okay, so the grant is paid in installments and covers accommodation costs, insurances, and a significant amount of their living expenses. If you are interested, you first need to apply to one of the Flemish host institutions that participates in the Mastermind scholarship program. Okay, so we would be looking at the institution, so do not worry, I'm going to break down this whole information for you. Okay, so let's look at the details of the scholarship. Okay, the duration of mobility is 1 academic year for a master's program of 60 ECTS, that is credit hours in European terms, and 2 academic years for a master's program of 120 ECTS. The incoming student is awarded a maximum scholarship of 10,000 euros per academic year, according to the details mentioned in the section payment of the scholarship. We will be looking at the section on the payment of the scholarship also, so don't fret. We are going to break everything down, okay, so that you understand everything and then you apply for this scholarship. If a student completes a 1-year master program but does not obtain the master degree at the end of the academic year in 2025, the final installment of 1,500 euros will not be awarded. In case of a 2-year master program, at least 54 ECTS must be obtained in the first academic year in 2025 to be able to receive the final installment of 1,500 euros of the first year and to be entitled to the scholarship of the second academic year. More information can be found in the section payment of the scholarship. Okay, so once you reach the section on the payment of scholarship, you would understand why I'm mentioning 1,500 euros installments and the rest. Okay, so don't fret. The host institution can ask the applicant for a tuition fee that equals the lowest rate of the yearly tuition fee for a student who receives a study grant from the Flemish government. The rate for the academic year is 131.50 euros. Okay, this rate may increase slightly from year to year. Okay, so this is the enrollment fee that I spoke about in the general information section. So you just have to pay 131 euros, and of course you can definitely take it from the grant that you receive. Okay, if a student loses his or her scholarship, the student will have to pay the full tuition fee if he or she wants to continue the program without the scholarship. There are a number of scholarships reserved for students from certain countries. Okay, so if you are from Japan, you have 3 scholarships reserved for you. If you are from Mexico, you have 3 scholarships reserved for you. If you are from Palestine, you have 2, and if you are from USA, you have 5. These countries are priority countries for the Flemish government. Okay, so these people have reserved number of scholarships, but still it doesn't deter you from applying. Although these people have theirs reserved for them, you can still apply for this scholarship. Okay, if a scholarship is not taken up, it is awarded to the candidate ranked highest by the Flemish selection committee. Students should not combine the scholarship with any other scholarship from the Flemish government or an Erasmus Mundus scholarship. Okay, so this scholarship is exclusive. You cannot combine it with any other scholarship. Upon completion of the mobility, all students are expected to submit an essay and fill in a short questionnaire about their mobility. A maximum of 20 applications can be submitted per Flemish higher education institution. Okay, so this has to do with your school applying on your behalf. Okay, so I'm going to show you the application process, so do not fret. Okay, now let's look at the payment of the scholarship. Okay, you quite remember I was mentioning 1,500 euros and the rest, so I'm going to explain it for you. Okay, now listen, the scholarship amounts to 10,000 euros for the academic year 2024 and 2025, and 10,000 euros for the academic year 2025-2026 in case an application was submitted for a 2-year program. Okay, so this scholarship can be for a 1-year program or a 2-year program. It depends on the eligible institution that you are applying to, and then the number of years that you have to complete your master's course. Okay, so for the 10,000 euros that you are going to receive per academic year, an installation of 4,500 is transferred on a Belgium or European account after arriving in Belgium and uploading the registration certificate which the student will receive from the Flemish higher education institution when he or she arrives. Note, that means the 10,000 euros is not going to be given to you at a go. First and foremost, you are going to receive 4,500 euros after you have arrived in Belgium, and then you have uploaded your registration certificate that you received from your school. Okay, or if you don't want the 4,500 euros when you arrive in Belgium, then you prefer a first installment of 2,000 euros, which can be transferred to your student bank account, either in Europe or foreign bank account. So even if you are in your country, you can receive that 2,000 euros prior to the start of the academic year. Additionally, the remaining installment of 2,500 will be transferred on a Belgium or European account after arriving in Belgium and uploading the registration certificate. Okay, so it's your choice. You either want the first installment of 4,500 when you arrive in Belgium, or you can take 2,000 euros when you are in your home country, and then after you arrive in Belgium, then you can take the remaining 2,500 euros. And then the second installment of 4,000 euros is transferred in February 2025 after you complete the first semester. Okay, a final installment of 1,500 euros is transferred upon completion of the first academic year in July 2025 or in September or October 2025 in case of resit exams. If a student completes a 1-year master program but does not obtain the master degree at the end of the academic year in July 2025 or in September 2025 in case of resit exams, the final installation of 1,500 euros will not be awarded. Okay, so like I explained, you have 10,000 euros per academic year. You get 4,500 as your first installment. Then the second installment is 4,000 euros after your first semester, and then your final installation is going to be 1,500 euros. Okay, so you can, I'm breaking it down for you. You can read about the second year master program and how it also operates, but it also operates in a similar way. Okay, so this is the breakdown of the financial component of the scholarship. Now let's look at how to apply. Okay, so the first step, you have to check if you are eligible to apply, if the Flemish institution of your choice participates in the mastermind scholarship. Okay, so we would be looking at the eligibility criteria and then the host institution that you can apply to. Okay, we would be looking at that, but now let's just go through the steps and then we switch from the scholarship page to the host institution and how you can apply. Okay, so after you check your eligibility to apply, and if the Flemish institution of your choice participates in the mastermind scholarship, you have to submit your application to the host institution. Okay, so the application is going to go through your host institution, that is the school that you would be applying to. Okay, so the third step is that the host institution is going to pre-select the eligible applications. So once you submit your application and make the host institution know that you want to apply for the mastermind scholarship, they are also going to do their pre-selection. After the host institution does the pre-selection, they start the application procedure for the mastermind scholarship by creating your application file in the mobility online application tool. Okay, so once the host institution starts your application for you, you are going to receive an email generated by the mobility online to notify you of being pre-selected for a mastermind scholarship. Okay, so once you apply to the school is going to pre-select you, and then they are going to create your account for you. Once they create your account for you, you are going to receive an email, and from there you can register in the mobility online tool and complete your application file in the mobility online tool before the deadline. Okay, documents to be uploaded. Okay, so now let's look at the documents that you are going to upload. This one is different from your application to the school. Okay, so we would be looking at the application to the school later, but once you apply to the school is going to pre-select you for this scholarship. Okay, so the school will do its due process, and after it has given you admission, it's going to start your mastermind scholarship application for you. And once the school starts your application for you, you are going to receive an email, and then you are going to continue with the application process. Okay, so first and foremost, you will need a passport photo. Okay, after that you need an international passport, so please get a professional passport picture, and then your international passport or national identification. But I would employ you to use your international passport. Then you need a CV. The CV must include your GPA, and if applicable, your publications, awards, previous scholarships. And I would encourage you to use the Europass CV format, because Belgium is part of the European Union. Therefore, and this Europass CV would be recommended. You can check out the link in my description. You would find a video on how to generate a Europass CV in a few steps, and then you are good to go. You also need your transcript of record. If written in a language other than Dutch, French, German, or English, a certified translation must be enclosed. Okay, so if it's in another language, it has to be translated into either French, Dutch, German, or English. English language test or letter of exemption provided by the host institution. Okay, so if you're applying to schools in Belgium, especially when you're coming from Africa and from an English-speaking country, most of the time you are exempted from an English language test, but it all depends on the host university. So we would be looking at how to apply to the various host university, and then we would be looking at their requirements. But I know most definitely, coming from Africa and you speak English, or you have English as your native speaking language, you would be exempted from the English language test. The next thing that you need is your letter of motivation, which has to be written in English. I'm going to insert a video on how to write a letter of motivation in the description so that you can watch that as well. The next thing that you need are 2 signed letters of recommendations from professors of your previous home university or recent employer written in English. Okay, so you need 2 recommendation letters, either from someone who has taught you before or from where you work, and this recommendation must also be in English. Okay, so you also need a copy of acquired diplomas. Okay, that is your degree certificate. Okay, so your degree certificate, your undergraduate degree certificate, you also need a copy of that to facilitate your application process. Okay, so the last step, the host institution validates and submits the completed application file in the mobility online tool before the deadline of 28 April 2024, 23 hours 59 minutes GMT. Okay, so by 28 April 2024, that is the deadline for the submission of your applications. Applications validated submitted after 28 April 2024 will not be accepted. So the deadline for the submission of your application has to be on the 28th of April 2024. Okay, so then these are the various steps. This link is going to be in the description so that you can verify all this information for yourself. Okay, so now let's look at the eligibility criteria. Okay, so find out if you are eligible. The applicant applies to take up a master's degree program at a Flemish higher education institution. Okay, we will be looking at the institutions very soon. The applicant should have a high standard of academic performance and or potential. Okay, so you have to have very good grades. Okay, the student has a grade point average of 3.5 out of 4.0. Okay, so this one is ranging from second class, upper, and first class, so just bear that in mind. Okay, and then the student has a good knowledge of the English language. Okay, so with the English language, as I explained earlier, various schools have exemptions for English language tests. So once you apply to the school, we would check the English language requirements. But coming from Africa and having English as your native language, most times you would be exempted from the English language test. But then if English is not your native language, then you would have to provide any of the listed English language tests such as IELTS, TOEFL, the Common European Framework of Reference, or an official English language test recognized by the host institution. So the host institution also performs an academic check of the student's file. The student has to be accepted by the host institution in order to receive the scholarship. The criterion applies even if the host institution's decision to accept the student is taken after the selection for the mastermind program. The applicant can be nominated by only one Flemish higher education institution. If the applicant is pre-selected by more than one Flemish higher education institution, he or she has to choose one Flemish higher education institution to submit his or her application into the mobility online tool. Okay, this basically implies that maybe you applied to three or 4 schools, okay, and all of them nominated you. You have to choose only one. You cannot put in more than one application when you are applying for the mastermind scholarships. All nationalities except for Russian can apply. We are speaking about the eligibility criteria and how you can apply. All these links are going to be in the description so that navigation becomes very, very easy for you. So now let's look at the various schools that you can apply to. Okay, so these are the host institutions. Okay, so instructions and deadlines. So find out more information on the specific institution web pages below. Okay, so the universities that are eligible for, that makes you eligible for the mastermind scholarship includes KU Leuven, University of Antwerp, Ghent University, Hasselt University, Verge University Brussels, University of Applied Sciences and Arts, that is Antwerp Maritime University, AP University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Erasmus, Brussels University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Hogent University of Applied Sciences and Arts, KDG University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Lucca School of Arts, PXL University of Applied Sciences and Arts. Okay, so all the universities have their deadlines stated here, and some of them they've written TBC. That means to be communicated. That means maybe the deadlines have been extended. Okay, so now what I am going to do is that I am going to create a separate video where we go to all these institutions and then we check how we can apply for master's programs at these various universities. Because if I continue with these universities, the video is going to be long. So let's just concentrate on the scholarship scheme, the payments involved in the scholarship scheme, how you can apply. But then we are going to create a new video where we look at these various institutions and how you can apply for master's programs at all these various institutions. Remember, you have to apply and be accepted onto a master's degree program in any of these institutions before the school is going to pre-select you for this scholarship. And once they pre-select you for the scholarship, then you can continue with the application process. So let me end this video here and then we'll get into the next video on how to apply for a master's program in any of these universities. I wish you all the best in your application, and I am definitely going to catch you on the flip side. And watch out for the next video on how you can apply for master's degrees in any of these institutions and to be considered for the mastermind scholarship in Belgium. Stay blessed, and I am out.